This project is about what I call reading the law, or learning law from reading. And the immediate impetus for it was in the summer, the American Bar Association in its monthly magazine had an article where 30 lawyers, high-profile lawyers, were each asked to pick a really significant book. Some picked law-related books, some picked general books, each one picked something important to read. And I frankly thought we could do better. I thought it important that we identify books related to law that can teach about values, about lawyering, and about the law. And I simply circulated the ABA article, or a link to it, to my colleagues here, and said, everybody send me your best. It took me, it caused me also to remember, that's how people used to study the law. Before there were law schools, people read the law. Abraham Lincoln read law books and then apprenticed and ultimately became a lawyer. And you can actually still do that in some states. But when we read case books, we read individual cases. When we read books, we read much more. We read in-depth stories. We read about the people behind the stories. We have to think about values and messages. So I'm very lucky that the law school faculty responded very enthusiastically and created a remarkable list of books. I can show you a couple of mine because they are books from what I call the literature of innocence. Picking Cotton may be the most remarkable book released in the last few years because it's written jointly by a rape victim and the man she falsely accused, mistakenly accused, more properly, of the crime. He went to jail for years and years before DNA exonerated him. And they tell the story in their respective voices. Bloodsworth is a story of the first death row inmate exonerated by DNA. It's a story that makes us realize that no matter how hard we try to have a perfect system, it will never be there. And it gives us pause and makes us look at how errors can happen. It's also a great story about trials and trial lawyering, because he had 2 trials, and you can see what happened in each. What's my hope? My hope is as follows. I know that law students have a tremendous amount of work to read, and frankly, sometimes they like to read about anything besides law. But that maybe one of these books will actually strongly complement what they're learning in class. And for others who come to our website, and especially to Widener alumni, that they'll continue their legal education by doing what we're calling reading the law.